Boy George has qualified for Eurovision. And that is a sentence I did not expect to be saying in my lifetime. Yes, the Culture Club frontman and 80s icon has been selected for the song contest this year, but not for his homeland, the United Kingdom, but for San Marino. He joined forces with contest legend Senhit to win the San Marino national final with their aptly named song, Superstar. This feels genuinely mad. I thought Senhit taking Flowrider to Eurovision was crazy, but Boy George, he was an absolutely huge star in the 80s and 90s. Indeed, a superstar. He had a #1 album and 8 top 10 singles in the UK with Culture Club, including the unforgettable Karma Chameleon. You come and go. His music charted all around the world, and he was one of the most recognisable and famous stars of the era. And indeed, he was a judge on the Australian version of The Voice, alongside the Aussies' Eurovision 2026 entrant, Delta Goodrem. So those two could potentially have a nice reunion in Vienna. It will be interesting to see if they practice what they preached as coaches. I didn't listen to Superstar before it qualified for Eurovision, purely because basically everyone on planet Earth was in the lineup for the San Marino semi-finals, and even after the semi-finals the numbers weren't whittled down that much. I just thought maybe it's all a load of hype and it won't get picked. But what a story. To give Senhit her dues as well, this will be her 3rd time at Eurovision for San Marino. She first represented them in 2011 with the song Stand By, which failed to qualify for the final. But she came back 10 years later alongside Flowrider, and they qualified for the final with the song Adrenalina. It only finished 22nd in the final, but it's a fan's favourite and I still love to hear it to this day. So this is a duo with an incredible pedigree. They're putting their reputations on the line here. Is their song for Eurovision in 2026 going to be something special? Let's see what they've got. I'll play the clips and then jump in with what I think. This is Senhit and Boy George with Superstar.
All the boys looking back, wearing black, looking like they're up to something. All the girls on the floor looking for something more, like it's all or nothing. Neon light, smoky eyes, dripping down your flashing light. There you are. Oh, look at you, staring at your shoes like you stare or something. Oh, baby, there you are. Girl, go and do it like a superstar. Girl, go and do it for the broken heart. 'Cause baby, you're a superstar, superstar. There you are. Girl, go and do it for all your scars. Come on. Girl, go and do exactly who you are. 'Cause baby, you're a superstar, superstar.
Okay, so it's nice. Senhit sounds great and looks great, and it's kind of funky. But where is Boy George? I'm not wowed by this so far. It feels like a nice radio pop song which you'd listen to in the car on the way to work in the morning. But that's about it. Maybe George will explode into action in the second half of the song and we'll have something really interesting. Let's keep going.
Baby, you're a great, freaky great, for a young, you're really something. And it's about you gonna show you how to becoming. Oh, they dropping jaws on the floor. They never see perfection like this before. Oh, baby, I thought you've been too long back, but there was one thing. Oh, baby, there you are.
So that was Senhit and about 5 seconds of Boy George's face on a screen. I think it's fair to say that one person is doing a bit more of the heavy lifting than the other in this song. The song didn't really get any more interesting in the second half for me, and the Boy George cameo in this guise not only seems to be a complete and utter waste of time, but indeed a huge disappointment. He appears for next to no time, and you can barely even hear him. I don't know if it was just a gimmick to get Senhit qualified for Eurovision again. Apparently George was on tour in the US, so couldn't make it to the San Marino national final. It was a good job that Senhit wasn't also on tour, so they at least had someone there to hold the fort. As I film this, there has been no announcement as to whether George will join Senhit on the stage in Vienna. When she did Adrenalina with Flo Rida, it wasn't announced till quite late in the day that he would be joining her on the stage. There has also been quite a lot of criticism of Boy George among Eurovision fans online. Part of that is due to a fairly high profile criminal conviction, but it's mainly due to the fact he signed a letter along with more than 400 other artists supporting the EBU to maintain its non-political stance and allow Israel's Edin Golan to compete in 2024. I don't know if that criticism is likely to have any sway in terms of whether he decides to attend and perform at Eurovision or not. But to be fair to Boy George, he grew up as a gay man in the 1980s, so I think it would take a lot to knock him off his stride. I like to try and be as positive as I can be about artists and songs on this channel, but I've got to be honest, this is an entry which I do not see being competitive in any way, shape or form. When artists of the calibre and international renown of Boy George go for Eurovision, you expect them to bring something special. We've seen many big names enter over the years, particularly from the UK, who have done pretty poorly and sent a very disappointing entry. I would be very surprised to see this qualify for the final. Fortunately for San Marino, they are in semi-final 1, which on the face of it looks a significantly weaker heat than semi-final 2. So who knows, maybe they will scrape through. And the star factor of Boy George being on the stage, if he does indeed turn up, could be the difference. San Marino has entered Eurovision 15 times and qualified for the final 4 times. On one of those occasions they qualified for the final, last year, they did actually finish rock bottom with Gabri Ponte, and they've only ever finished as high as 19th. It's not a great record, and sadly I don't see it improving in 2026. What do you think of this one? Do you agree, or do you think I'm being too negative? I know it's not easy for San Marino because they are a tiny principality, but they do get lots of artists from all over Europe interested in competing for them. Let me know what you think. That's all for this video. If you did enjoy it and you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.